I'm going to go over with you some information about quoting, paraphrasing, and summary that are going to be important for you to understand and implement in your persuasive paper. We're going to start with quoting. So with direct quotations, you're going to make sure that it involves copying short sentences or passages from the original text word for word. This is where we put those exact words within quotation marks, and it includes an in-text citation that is using the expected formatting style, in this case, APA. When you want to quote, you choose this because the author's words can convey a powerful meaning, meaning that you can't put it in any way that's better than the way that the author has said it. Maybe you need to use an author's position to introduce what you want to discuss. Or you can use it to support claims in your writing or provide evidence for the points you are making. This is the most important thing to remember, is that you only use direct quotations when it is the only way that you can say it, that there is no better way to say what those authors are saying. When you are quoting, it is important to remember that you use the quotation sandwich. That means that the top piece of bread is where you introduce your quote. This also applies to paraphrase and summary, but I'm putting it here because it's called the quote sandwich. You use the author's credentials when it's appropriate, and you always use a signal phrase. If you don't know what a signal phrase is, you can Google some as an example. There are some examples here for you to help you understand what a signal phrase is. So you'll say, a famous physicist from the University of Cambridge, Stephen Hawking, states, and then you would put in quotations what he states. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, then you would put your direct quotation. This indicates to your reader where this quote comes from, why it's important, how it connects to your previous ideas. Then when you put the meat and trimmings of your sandwich is where you use the quote, paraphrase, or summary. You put quotation marks around 2 or more words that are directly quoted. And this is basically the meat. This is what you put in the middle of your sandwich. Then the bottom piece of bread is where you explain your quote, paraphrase, or summary in several sentences. This is where you can clarify concepts from the quote, discuss how that source information supports the main point of the paragraph, and redirects the reader back to the thesis statement of the paper. It is important that you do this last step because you cannot assume that your readers are going to know why that relates to the point. It is your job to explain it to them. Another way to do this is also known as the ICE method, where you introduce, cite, and explain. This is just another way of using the quotation sandwich. It's the same thing. Introduce your quotes, provide in-text citations and formatting style for all quotes, and then make sure you explain your quotations. There are some questions here for you. What is this quote saying? How does this information add to what I'm trying to prove? Et cetera, as listed here. This will make you explain how this quote relates to your point. And remember, you cannot leave anything up for interpretation. It is your responsibility as the writer to explain the information to your reader.